Hello, everyone, and welcome to a spectacular evening today here in India. It's still morning in Trinidad, from where today a very special guest of mine is joining, and we are going to have a spectacular conversation over something which is so valuable to us in these times. Yes, but before I give a more formal introduction, let me just at least welcome her into the conversation. So, hi, Carla. There, I'm going to give a more formal look into your name and to your work to my viewers. But welcome to my show, which is
Thank you for having me.
at Sonalis Cubo, and I'm the founder Vayjayanti, welcoming you. How are you doing, Carla, today?
I am great. I'm fabulous today. Thanks so much for inviting me to India today. Thank you.
And yes, Carla is joining us from all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. And today's conversation is something which is very interesting. You know, friends, we try and grow our business, but it's not easy. First, we have to have an idea, and then we have to find how profitable niche we can create around it, and then we need the correct target demographic which is going to see value. So whether we are selling a merchandise or we are giving out a service, we have to have right marketing strategies to be visible. But we just can't be visible anyhow. We need to be visible
True.
so that we get converting offers around it. Whether it is through energy optimization or blogging or Facebook or Instagram or emails, you name it, there are so many different channels around us. But what is most alarming is that whether we women or men or big corporates, we land up there and we make these businesses. But most of us are just like thinking about, we're too busy working in our business. We are not at all concerned about working on our business, how our business looks from outside. That is very
Mhm.
important. And to throw some light on that, and to help us sort of generate better traffic around our work, I have a fabulous strategist with me, Carla Williams Johnson, who's joining us all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. She's a media marketing consultant and the founder of Carly Communications. Now, what do I tell about Carly? I mean, the list is totally on and on and on, but she has been covered by some spectacular notable media. You call it Huffington Post, you call it BuzzFeed, you call it the Forbes, and she is there. And she actually works with entrepreneurs in the real world, because she says in the real world you have to have the real marketing tools to have the real conversions, and that's where Carla comes in. So welcome, Carla.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And I am super excited, to know more about your work and what you have in store for my audience today. But yes, I would like by asking you, Carly Communications. Can you tell the viewers about Carly Communications, and then what you do in your company, etc., so we understand that how a marketing strategist works around?
Oh, I listen. I am so humbled by your introduction. I cannot lie. I'm humbled by it. Thank you so much for having me here. Well, Carly Communications, what I say is that I advise entrepreneurs and business owners how to increase their visibility through the creative uses of media. And that media could look like social media, it could look like traditional media, it could look like email marketing, sponsorship. And what I really do is give people a clear picture forward for their business and for what it is that they want to achieve in their business and in their life, and the goals that they want to get for their business. So I always say that marketing is not a one size fits all. Everything is different, every business is different, every person is different, every goal is different. So it's almost like a puzzle, right? So you have all these pieces to the puzzle, and when it comes together, that's your business, that's your goal. And everybody's puzzle is
No, that's
different.
very intelligent what you're just saying, Carla, that it's like it's like each one is very individualized. Is that what
Yes,
you're trying to say? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually what it is that I do for my clients. I have them look at the entire puzzle and figure out like which pieces are best suited to them.
So, Carla, to make it a little on to the point, I want to start actually from the times that we are now, the pandemic,
Oh,
which has sort of made us fight for our living, for our businesses to thrive and survive, whether we are an author or we are a social entrepreneur or we are running a business of a product or a service. It is very important to be visible, and it
mm-hmm.
is very important for the customers to have faith in that virtual
Yes.
visibility, because now we don't have that physical visibility where we can go and meet them and discuss it over a cup of coffee. So now whether the coffee is hot or not is on the either side of the screen. So yes, so if I have to ask you, Carla, pandemic and visibility, how can we make it click for everyone, like whether it's a service provider or it's an entrepreneur with a product?
Well, there are so many things that we can do. The idea is that we need to pivot and we need to change. So if you have a product if you have a product, I would always recommend that you create something where you could be a little bit more engaging with your client. So that can look like utilizing social media, going live, introducing a delivery service for your company or your business. So that is what I would more or less recommend for the products. For the services, however, again, going live, letting people know what it is that you do, how they could connect with you. But regardless of whether it is product or service, the most important thing to do is to be empathetic, because whatever your audience is going through, we're going through the same way. So it's a level of uncertainty, it's a level of, they're not sure what's going to happen. So you can't just come out and just sell, sell, sell. You have to understand where they're coming from, understand their mindset, because that is going to change the way that you approach them, right? It's like I explained to some of my clients, you can have a best friend in the world, and how you will speak to them on their wedding day is very different from how you'll speak to them, say, God forbid, someone passes away. Your
Right.
audience are your best friends. So how you speak to them now is very, very different.
That's but would you like to give us a few more tips as to how we can accelerate our visibility on social media in this pandemic, especially
Sure.
if you are already established? So I'm not talking about the ones who are yet to come onto online working. I'm talking about probably the ones who are already into too many social media platforms, but they just don't know how to
Well,
optimize that.
Well, in those cases, I would strongly, strongly recommend that you use publicity and PR and the media to your advantage. As it stands right now, we're not in control of the money that we make or the business that we may get, but we are in control of our visibility. We are in control of who sees and hears our message. And right now, the media is looking for people to promote, to talk to motivate and inspire their audience, and they're looking for knowledgeable people to share their information across the world, like we're doing right now, right? Across the world. So I would strongly recommend that you look into PR and publicity as a way to truly connect with your people, especially now.
That's very, very informative. And what would you like to tell about those people? Like today, I got a call, Carla, about someone who was actually on one-on-one meeting and selling her product. And she had no online visibility other than a Facebook. And now on Facebook, it's not possible to make a daily sale of your product. You need to have a catalog. You need to have the different availability of the product, the different size, dimensions, etc. And then she thought, okay, fine, now this is the time when I need to start working on a website.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot many changes from people who are not active in social media, who did not have an online presence or had a dead online presence. So what would you like? Yeah, who would just have a random
I
LinkedIn
know what you
profile.
mean. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
it's like a dead meat. Like you go and click on that, you will find a post from the year 2015, which is popping up. Yeah, so it's like the world has stopped for them there. So what do you want to tell to our lay out a few tips about the people who want to start online visibility.
Now, you see what you just said there about the world stopped at whatever point in time. That is exactly how your customers will feel when they hop onto your page and they see a post from whenever. So, first things first, be as consistent as possible. I always tell my clients aim for at least 3 posts a week. Ideally, right now, it should be more, but aim for at least 3 posts a week so people can see that you are very active on your page. Also, another thing to do is to, if you are developing a website, look for ways that you can drive people to your website, right? A website by itself is not going to do anything. So you need to find a way, whether it's on social media or even through PR and publicity, where you could go out and get your audience and bring them towards your website so they can opt in, they can see what it is that you're about, and then you can create a space for them to buy from you, right? You have to create a space for them to buy from you. Another thing which actually just happened to me just before we hopped on is the use of direct marketing, your DMs. Nothing is wrong with introducing yourself to someone online and letting them know what you're about. But don't just go in and just start to sell. It doesn't come across good, doesn't come across well. You go in, you introduce yourself, you say, hi, I'm Carla from Carly Communications, and I just love that we've connected, and I would love to help you as much as possible. And you take the relationship from there. A lot of people think that selling is the first thing that you have to do, and that's not true. Building the relationship, making the connection, letting people know that you're here to help as much as possible. That is the way to start to build your brand and therefore increase your sales. Sales come after you do all of these other things right and correctly. And I want everybody to take that away. Don't try to sell first. Selling will come once we do all of these things.
No, I think that's very corrective method that you put forward, because sometimes nowadays most of these sales are also, I don't know about Trinidad, but in India, so much of catalog sharing is happening over WhatsApp through PDF files. And even if you happen to ask anyone, okay, about one particular product, it's just a question, something that interests you when you've asked. Oh my God, the amount of personal messages and personal calls would start coming, that you start feeling so pressurized that you actually take a step back. It's like you develop this apathy towards the seller. So even if you like the product, you don't want to reach out to that person. And that is very beautifully crafted by you when you said that we should not try and upgrade our sales, but we should try and first generate that connectivity with customers. That's right. But anything specific that you want to tell people who don't have a product, but they themselves are a product, like maybe like authors, like social entrepreneurs? What do they do for visibility, for because their work is they don't have a product, so how do they retain that visibility?
I say show up wherever you need to and show up wherever your people are. So if your people are on social media and they like to see or hear from you, then look at doing more videos, look at doing more lives, look at giving the information that they need right now in order to succeed, or in order to feel better about themselves, because we spoke about being empathetic before, right? If it also means that you need to do maybe a video series, so you take them through a funnel and they see a series of videos that you've produced, introducing yourself, who you are, what you do, and how it is that you can help them. Another way that I stand firmly behind is utilizing the media wherever possible. And that could look like TV, radio, press, guest blogs, roundups, anything where you can show up in front of your audience, where you can tell them, hey, I am here and I'm here to help you succeed. Right. Because that's what people are looking for right now, right? They're looking for help. They don't know what to do. They're not sure how to even approach things. They have limited budgets. Some of them have no budgets at all because of the pandemic. So They need help. So you just have to show up saying, hey, I'm here to help, and this is how I can help you. And the more you give is the more of the connection that you make, and it's the more that people will remember you. So even when things get a little better for them, they'll remember and say, hey, I remember that girl or that guy from that show once, and they were really good. Let me give them a call.
Yes, this particular word, Carla, empathy, I think how much I've heard in India, specifically because India started seeing COVID since March. So this particular word called empathy is on the dictionary hit list since March. But before that, people had no time for empathy. But yes, now it's the time to exercise this. Another one word which I want to ask you as an expert is the word collaboration. What can organize, because I as running my work, I love to collaborate. I love bringing new people in front. I like going to their platforms. I like knowledge share, because I think this is not a time where we can monetize, but we can definitely be visible to each other's audiences, to each other's knowledge, and that word is collaboration. What is your take as an expert on collaboration?
Definitely, definitely, collaboration is the name of the game. I heard many years ago that collaboration is the currency of entrepreneurship, and that actually stuck with me, because all of us business owners, we really need to get on board where collaboration is concerned. We really need to join forces, as they say, to grow our business. And if you put yourself in the seat of your target, you will understand why collaboration is very important. Because if your customer comes and they can get everything in one place and just pay one price, it makes it easy for them. It makes it convenient for them. It makes it even more special for them, because then they don't have the headache of trying to run here, there, and everywhere. Especially now where we don't have the time, or we really don't want to be running around here, there, and everywhere. So definitely, to grow your business, I would recommend collaborating with people who you feel are best suited for you, people that you share the same target audience with, and people that fit together with your business, so that when you offer something to the customer, they will say, yes, this makes sense for me, let me spend my money.
Actually, very rightly put. And uh, I want to go back now and ask you something very personal, because this is for the audience who've joined us now. Here I'm talking to Carla Williams Johnson, who is a strategist with marketing, and she is guaranteeing that with these tools, you can optimize your conversions to monetization and visibility at the time that we are in now. Here is a woman who is covered by uh, so many leading dailies, not to mention the Forbes. How was your experience when you're sharing your articles in these leading media portals? What do you feel when you're empowering other people with your take on knowledge?
That is a very good question, because I still amaze myself sometimes. Sometimes I literally shed tears of joy, because I'm like, how did this happen? How did I get here? What is it I'm doing? I feel so good, honestly. I feel so good. And I still amaze myself when I see myself in black and white, or I see myself on the screen. But my goal is really to help as many people as possible. When I started this business, I realized that there were a lot of people who were geniuses at what it is that they were good at. But when it came to putting themselves out there and marketing themselves effectively, there was a little bit of problems, a little bit of mishap, a little bit of not knowing how. So when I created this business, it was really to get those people to understand there's an easy way to build a brand, and I want to show you how. And that has been my message, that has been my platform ever since.
So coming back to just what you just said, where you've seen people who are geniuses, but they just don't know how to put it out there. They just don't know how to cash on to that visibility. Forget monetization. Would you like to share with the audience, with no names mentioned, anything in particular which has been with you, where you can say, with this thing was happening, but this thing was happening wrong about that particular brand or a person? Because that would give us a more clarity as to what is wrong and how it could be right.
Mm. So what I've noticed with a lot of clients is that they're very drawn to social media,
Yeah.
right? So they will be posting and they will be sharing information, but somehow it's not connecting to sales, right? What I come in and I do, which I've actually done for a couple of my clients, is I go in and I say to them, listen, social media is a part of your overall strategy. Let us look at where your clients are, and then we will see how social media fits. So specifically, there was a company that I worked for. I actually am very good friends with the CEO now. When we had met, she did more event planning, in-person event planning. And she would host different parties and sit down affairs and stuff like that. And I said to her, your target is not going to look at social media at all. So all this posting that you're doing is not going to make sense. But here's what we're going to do. You're going to need a lot of sponsors. So let's look at getting some sponsors to sponsor your events. And then we're going to drive these sponsors back to your social media page so that they can see who you are, what you're about, the people that you serve, the kind of audience that you bring in, the numbers that you bring in, how they enjoy themselves so that they can be a part of it. So we utilize her social media more like an online resume. So when we started our direct marketing strategy and we drive the sponsors to her social media page, they can see everything, sometimes in real time because we would go live. And within, I don't want to lie, maybe about 6 weeks, she was earning 5-6 figures from her events because her sponsors were loving what they were seeing and they were just giving her money. They're like, yes, we want to be a part of this. It's fabulous. She has never made any money from a direct sale on her Facebook page, but she has made money through sponsorship by driving people to her Facebook page. And that's what I want people to understand. Sometimes you have all the tools at your disposal, but you're not quite sure how to use each tool effectively. That's where someone like me comes in, right? I'll say, here, what? You are in the right place, but we're not using this correctly. Let's change a couple things and see how we can make you some money. And that's what I always do.
That's fabulous. So, as I just said in the start of the conversation, that most of the entrepreneurs and service providers or product dealers, they are just about in their business and not on and around their business, and they don't see how their business is visible from outside. So you had this beautiful journey as an entrepreneur. You started Carly Communications. What is your taking back from here, from the time that you started and from the time that you are here with so many accolades, so many mentions, so many citations, amazing clients, happy customers, generating the right visibility for your clientele? What is that you would like to graph from where you started and from where you are, which you would want to give like a learning tool to other women entrepreneurs?
Well, what I would like to say is that it has been an amazing journey, but the most important thing is that I decided to do it. When I first started with Carly Communications, I was scared, I was nervous, I didn't know who would take me seriously. I told myself, here I am from a third world country that no one knows about, and I actually told myself that no one would take me seriously, and that is not true, right? So I made up my mind to make certain steps. I made up my mind to put myself out there. I made up my mind to reach out to media houses and say, hey, I'm here and I want to help your audience grow. And it has just been amazing making that step. I mean, Huffington Post emailed me and said they wanted me to be on their list of 99 limit breaking female founders, right? Someone else emailed me and said, oh, I'm adding you to my list of top marketers to follow for 2020. Someone of UK called me and they nominated me actually without me even knowing as for their Media Innovator Awards, and I actually won Best Promotions Company West Indies, right? And that's out of the UK, and I don't even think I shared that with my audiences yet. But All of that happens because you make a decision to put yourself out there and to help people. Yes, we want our sales. Yes, we want our packages to grow. Yes, we want to make money. But as I mentioned to you before, all of these things happen once we put ourselves out there the right way and we make the meaningful connections, even if it's over the airways. We make those meaningful connections and we help as many people as possible.
Yes, very brightly said, Carla, because these are the times when you talk about empathy, as you just said, and not about just turning your figures into sales. We are more there to impress, we are more there to listen, we are more there to understand what the changing times are asking us to do. Whether you have a product or a service or a thought, you just know that you have to put it out all there in the honest to the times that we are in, not try to be what you were probably before the COVID, because indeedly the thought processes have changed,
Yes.
the ideations have changed, the
Yes.
conversion of money has changed. So you have
Yes.
to actually live in today's times. So if you ask me, Carla, whether we are adding something new to your business every day for visibility, or we are becoming resourceful, with the knowledge that we are incorporating a change every day, because I think change is the key to success.
It is.
But at the end of the day, if we don't know how to be visible and use all of the social media tools that we have, the different platforms, emails, but if I have to ask you before I continue, Carla, so much out there is social media is like marketing out there is like a big dynasty, I should say. It's like
Mm-hmm.
from where it started to where it is now. So if I have to just ask you to give few tools to the viewers about things to remember for a startup or for any woman entrepreneur who's running a business from home, because I think that is much more important for me to ask today, because I see in India, because you say you're a third world country and look at us, we are not far from there as well. But then we see that just like in Trinidad, we have lot many women who started to work from home, starting
Mm-hmm.
new businesses in this COVID, but they are, yes, under the pressure as to how much they'll be able to carry it forward, but yes, they've put their hands in it. So, what do you want to tell to these startups with limited money, or to these women entrepreneurs who have just started with a product or a service from their home? How can they be visible at these times?
Oh, definitely the use of social media will work in your favor. Your goal should always be to create content that will connect with your audience in a way that they would be able to consume it. So as I mentioned before, we need to be empathetic. We need to tell people what it is that we're going through so that they'll be able to relate to us. Many times when I am on social media, I would post pictures of the view from my office, which is my son. He's 2, right? And I know that there are a lot of mompreneurs out there that have little kids, right? And they're running around. It's like, oh my God. And they feel like they're alone. But when you post up things like that and they see what it is that you're doing and you're facing the same things, the same challenges that they are, then they feel like, okay, no, I'm not alone. And if she could do it, then I can do it too. So be sure to be very relatable to your audience. This is the psychology of marketing we're talking about here. Whatever it is you are going through, they are going through as well. So don't think that, oh, nobody wants to see what's going on with me. No one wants to know my business. They do, because they want to know that they're not alone. There was a time I had posted, I woke up to 3 places to be interviewed in a day, and I hadn't combed my hair yet, and my hair was like this, right? And I actually did a selfie pic, and people were laughing and they were joking and they were saying congratulations. But I came across as real as possible, and that's what people like. So don't feel a how, and if you feel alone, bet your bottom dollar that your audience feels alone too. So you have to find a way to connect with them. Another thing I would say is definitely be as consistent as possible. As I mentioned before, I tell my clients 3 times minimum at least. Right now during COVID, aim for more, but the goal is to be as consistent as possible. You don't want anyone to hop on your social media page and the last post was 5 years ago. They will think that you don't really exist, right? So make sure and always put yourself out there, right? And another thing is definitely utilize the media. I know a lot of people think that the media is expensive and, it really isn't. There are a lot of places that are willing to feature you for absolutely free if you know exactly where to look, right? You have podcasts and television interviews and guest blogs that they're dying for people like you. And it really costs nothing more than your time and energy to get out there. And once you do get out there, you get yourself in front of the people that you want.
And just
And you
imagine
tell
the
them,
amount of
hey,
confidence you build by doing
yes,
that.
actually, yes, that's true. That is a side effect. It really builds confidence once you put yourself out there and you bring your people to you. You say, hey, come to my opt-in, come to my social media page for even more freeness and more ways that you can help, or you can do whatever it is that you're doing. So don't think that media is expensive. It really isn't. You just need to know where to look.
I think that's immense knowledge from a woman who was covered by Forbes and Huffington Post and Thrive Global and the Caribbean Communications from Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, like
Yes.
everywhere. A woman who has been covered widely by these amazing focused platforms giving her views about visibility is immense. And if you ask me, Carla, I totally believe in one thing, that it is good to build something which 100 people would love rather than building something which 1 million will like. So I think
Agree. That's good. Yes, that's true.
I'm the kind of person, whenever I hold my conferences and seminars or my workshops, and people ask me, how many did turn out? Or what is the number? I always say, I don't believe in number. Even if one soul gets, affected positively and thrives change and acts on it is enough for me. So I think and that's conversion, whether you
Yeah.
call it, that's conversion, a conversion of thought or a conversion of monetization. So yes, people reach out to Carly Communication. Know more about Carla's work. Her thoughts are amazing on marketing strategies and a simple do's which will make your work more visible. You can reach out to her on LinkedIn, on Instagram and Facebook. Carly Communications is everywhere, and so are Carla's thoughts. So thank you so much, Carla, for joining me today. And
Thank you so much.
yes, I should say you should have a beautiful day because it's still early, not early, but a great morning between elections in Trinidad. And
It is.
we are here, and the sun has gone, and we are soon going to be there on our dinner table. So yes, I would keep the connect on with you. Wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors. And thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you, viewers, for joining me today in this great discussion, which is all about real-time marketing for the real-time conversions. You can read more of Carla's work on her timelines on the different portals which I mentioned to engage with her and know more about what visibility is, because that is what we can optimize now in this pandemic. So yes, I wish you all the very best, and I'll see you all very soon. Stay home and stay safe. Bye-bye, Carla.
Bye.